What we're going to do today is we're going to drill out this old wire right here. That's the wire, the 4 conductors for the coil. Get rid of this, open this up, 1/4 inch hole all the way through here, and then drill out bore out a little cavity here so that I can put the new wire up through here and actually pot the new wire in epoxy. So I'm just going to drill out part of this thing in here so I can do that. And I'll show you how I do that right now. So this is the kit that I use for this job. I actually have this little kit that I use for drilling this thing out and prepping this thing for new wires. And this is how it works. This little drill jig goes in my vise. This is a drill press vise. It's a little cross slide vise. It's kind of nice, and it allows me to be able to position things in there very accurately. And then this guy goes into there. I have to loosen up both of these fittings, and then it just fits right in there like that, like a yay, and then I can drill right straight down through it. But before I do that, before I drill that out, and I'm going to drill this out, I'll go ahead and chuck up a little 1/4 inch drill bit into my drill press. And I use a stubby bit so I don't get a lot of wobble. Okay, and I'll go ahead and position that. I'll position the hole directly over the center of the hole that holds it. You see that? And the same thing on this side. I'll just position that until it's pretty damn precisionally right in the middle of that hole. This particular part of it isn't all that critical. I just want to get it close. Okay, so that's pretty close. Now, when I drill through here, what I don't want to do is I don't want to drill all the way through the hole. I just want to drill down to about 100,000ths of an inch, just to that tab, right to that tab. And so in order to do that, I have a piece of, I'll take a piece of 1/8 inch aluminum, and I'll put it underneath the drill bit, bring the drill bit down to where that is, and I'll go ahead and lock the quill so it doesn't go down any further than that. So when I drill, that's as far as it's going to go, dig it? Okay, so in she goes, into the jig she goes, and okay, that's pretty close. And you can see what I've done. Just drilled a 1/4 inch hole. Now I'm going to widen that out to a 1/2 inch. And I'll show you how I do that. The 1/2 inch should be a 1/2 inch cavity so I can use it for epoxy. So that is another drill bit. That's when I'm going to use this little mortise bit. Now for sure I don't want this edge to go down past that flange. That's about as far as I want it to go. In fact, 125,000ths is more than enough. And that's what I have here, this aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. Just kiss the edge of this bit on this business. Lock the quill there. So that's as far down as it's going to drill. See, that's kind of important. Like I said, I don't want to blast through this damn thing. I need that thread. And you can see that didn't really even push this. It didn't even really drill through the wire. It just kind of pushed it out. So I can pull these pieces out of here. And you dig it. So put this back in again. And now I got to be careful because see, if I was to drill it now, what's going to happen is that bit's going to hit the side of the plastic. I don't want to have. I don't want that to happen. And so I'll bring that down and just bring it up until where it's just kissing the side of it. I'm actually move the table back. And I'm just going to kiss the side of it till it's just going to barely touch that. Okay. So that'll give me a nice half-inch hole. I'll drill that puppy out. So hold it down. And that should do it. Blow that out. And there you have it. Nice cavity, a little hole there where I'm going to be putting epoxy in there. You can see that. It's just barely touched the side of it there, so I didn't take a lot of this meat away. I just drilled out the old epoxy basically. And then you can see that that 1/4-inch hole is there with the old. I can actually just pull that out of there. I'm going to reach in with a pair of needle nose and just pull out that sleeve. And what we got now is a nice clean hole with a nice clean cavity for epoxying it. That, my friends, is how I do that. Okay, the next step is to prep the wire that's going to be going back in there again. Okay, so there's the wire bundle. This is going back in here again. I've got ready to go back in. I'm going to go ahead and pull this bundle back to where it just almost comes out of that hole. What I do is I've got a little solder joint right in there that solders a couple of those wires together. That solder joint is thicker than the actual wire, so when I pull on this, it jams that wire in there really well. So I'm not worried about it pulling out. It just is not going to pull out of that hole. It's actually better than a tie wrap, in my humble opinion. So anyway, that's that. I don't want, it's not likely any epoxy is going to leak out of that hole, but what the hell? It doesn't hurt to close them up. I can feel that gland nut closing down really tight on this wire. So that gland nut makes the seal, plus the epoxy makes the seal. It is a very, very nice design. I like this design. Okay, so that's ready to epoxy. Okay, don't need a lot of epoxy, just enough to fill up the cavity. Just right in there. So this is what I use. I use heavy duty 5-minute epoxy. You get it at Home Depot. You can also get it online. You get it a lot of different places. And the way I do this is I just invert the tubes. Got a nice little ceramic dish that I use all the time, clean it out afterwards. When I do this, I just, kind of eyeball it, get equal parts of equal there. Equal little puddles of epoxy. That's enough, I think. Now when I do this, when I mix this epoxy up, what happens is that I can't help but getting little, if I mix it up vigorously, and I kind of feel like I need to, I put little bubbles in it, and you can see it's pretty damn viscous. It's it's really pretty thick stuff. And so what I'll do here, in order to get the bubbles out of there, in order to kind of make it a little bit more juicy, I'll go ahead and heat that up a little bit. Now, there's probably epoxy purists out there who are going to tell me that this is going to louse up the properties of the epoxy. And you know what? It probably will. But I'm less concerned about the strength than I am about the sealing characteristics of this stuff. And so I don't really care too much if it's not all that strong. But I don't want bubbles in it, you know. I want it to be nice and creamy, and that's what I got here. I got some nice creamy epoxy. Okay, CVS Pharmacy, free. I'll go ahead and suck that up into here. Okay, got that pretty much all sucked up there. I'll pull this thing down, get the air out of it, push it back up again. There, nice clean little syringe full of epoxy. And I'll inject this down inside that hole. I do this when I make sure that I get it around all the little wires in there. Okay, and that's the way that goes. Now you know why I use a ceramic cup rather than a little plastic container, because if I use that heat gun, it'll melt my cup. This just works really good. Pretty cool, eh? I'll use it again sometime. Okay. That's Epoxy 101. Works for me.